The next morning, Jack woke up before the sun. He could not sleep well because he kept thinking about the elders and the meeting Luna told him about. He washed his face and tried to look his best. He knew this day was very important. If the elders did not trust him, he might never feel safe in this place again. After breakfast, Luna came to his room. She wore a simple dress and looked calm, but Jack saw she was worried. "Are you ready, Jack?" she asked quietly. Jack nodded. "I am ready. Thank you for helping me." Luna smiled gently and led him through the palace. The halls were quiet. Jack felt his heart beat faster as they reached a large door at the end of the hall. 2 guards opened it, and Jack followed Looney into a big round room filled with light. The elders sat in a circle, their faces serious. Luna walked in front and spoke first. "Elders, this is Jack. He is not our enemy. He wants to be our friend. Please listen to him." Jack stood in the center of the room. He looked at the elders and tried to be brave. "I know you are afraid of me because I am different, but I did not come here to hurt anyone. I came as an explorer looking for friends and to learn." One elder with long white hair spoke. "Humans have hurt many before. How do we know you are different?" Jack took a deep breath. "I cannot change what others have done, but I promise you, I am here in peace. I am just one person, but I will do my best to show you kindness." Another elder asked, "What do humans want from us?" Jack answered honestly, "On Earth, we always dream about meeting new worlds. We want to learn, to share, and maybe to help each other. I do not want to take anything from you. I only want to understand." The elders talked quietly among themselves. Some looked doubtful, but a few seemed to be listening. Luna stood beside Jack. "He has shown me nothing but respect. He played with our children, helped in the gardens, and told stories. He has tried to be our friend." A younger elder looked at Jack. "Why did you come here alone?" Jack smiled softly. "I wanted to be brave. I wanted to see what was out there. I did not expect to find anyone. But now that I am here, I hope to be part of your world." The elders talked for a long time. Luna squeezed Jack's hand, giving him strength. Finally, the oldest elder stood up. "We will watch you, Jack. We will give you a chance. But if you bring trouble, we will send you away." Jack bowed his head. "Thank you. I understand. I will not let you down." After the meeting, Luna and Jack walked in the gardens. Jack felt tired but also relieved. Luna looked happy. "You did well, Jack. Some of the elders are starting to trust you." Jack smiled. "I am glad. I want to help." Luna looked around and spoke quietly. "There are still some who do not like you here, but more young people and children are starting to see you as a friend." That day, Luna took Jack to visit some schools in the city. The children were excited to see him again. Jack helped them with their lessons, showing them pictures of Earth and telling stories. The children asked many questions, laughing at his simple drawings and funny voices. Jack felt happy and welcome among them. In the afternoon, Luna and Jack visited the marketplace. This time, more people smiled at Jack. Some even offered him gifts: simple food, a flower, or a kind word. Jack thanked them all, feeling his fear slowly fade, but not everyone was friendly. A group of older Velari watched Jack with cold eyes. One of them stepped forward. "You do not belong here, human," he said sharply. Luna quickly stood in front of Jack. "He is my guest. Please show respect." The older Velari grumbled, but stepped back. Luna led Jack away, her hand shaking. "There is still much work to do," she whispered. That night, there was a festival in the city. Luna invited Jack to join. The city center was full of music, dancing, and bright lights. Jack watched as the Velari danced together in beautiful patterns, their movements graceful and joyful. Luna taught Jack a simple dance, and he tried his best to follow her steps. The crowd laughed kindly when Jack made mistakes, and some even joined to help him. For the first time, Jack felt like he was truly part of this world. After the dance, Luna and Jack walked to a quiet spot by the river. The water glowed with tiny lights, like stars. Luna sat down and looked at the sky. My people are afraid because they remember the past. But I think you can help them see a new future, Luna said softly. Jack nodded. I will try. I want to help. Luna smiled, her eyes full of hope. Tomorrow we will visit the great library. I want to show you our history. Maybe we can find a way to bring our worlds together. Jack looked at Luna, feeling a deep trust. For her, thank you for believing in me. Luna reached out and took Jack's hand. We can change the future, Jack. If we work together, anything is possible. As they walked back to the palace, Jack felt stronger and more hopeful than ever before. He was not just an explorer anymore. He was becoming part of Luna's world, and maybe together they could build a new path for both their people. The next morning, Jack awoke to the gentle sound of singing birds outside his window. He rubbed his eyes and tried to push away the worry that had stayed with him through the night. He wanted to believe that Luna could protect him, but the memory of the stern elders haunted his mind. Jack got dressed and left his room, walking quietly through the long halls of the palace. Everything was calm, but he could feel a strange tension in the air. Guards stood watch at every corner, and they watched him with careful eyes. Jack nodded politely to each one, trying his best to appear friendly. Soon Jack met Luna waiting for him near a beautiful fountain in the palace gardens. She wore a light blue dress, her silver hair shining in the early light. She smiled when she saw Jack, but he could see worry behind her kind eyes. Good morning, Jack, Luna said. I hope you slept well. Jack smiled and nodded. Yes, I did. Thank you for everything, Luna. Luna's smile faded a little. I am sorry about last night. The elders, they do not understand you. Some of them are angry because I have been spending time with you. Jack looked down, feeling a bit sad. I do not want to cause any trouble. Maybe it's better if I stay away. Luna shook her head quickly. No, Jack. I want you to stay. There are many things I want to show you. I believe my people will understand you if they see what I see. Jack felt better when she said this. He was glad Luna did not want to send him away. He followed Luna through the palace gardens as she told him more about her people's traditions and dreams. They walked toward the city together, this time with 2 young Valari guards walking behind them. Luna did not seem bothered, but Jack felt uncomfortable with the extra attention. As they entered the city, many people stopped and stared again. Some smiled, but others looked away. Whispering to their friends, Luna took Jack to a large building that looked like a museum. Inside, there were tall statues and paintings that showed the long history of the Valari. Luna pointed to a painting of 2 worlds joining hands, telling Jack that some Valari had always dreamed of peace with other species. Jack listened carefully, amazed by the beauty and hope in their art. A group of Valari children entered the museum, laughing and playing. Luna introduced Jack, telling the children that he came from a distant world. The children gathered around, their eyes bright with curiosity. They asked Jack questions about Earth, his family, and even his favorite food. Jack answered as simply as he could, smiling and drawing little pictures on a piece of paper to help them understand. The children giggled at his stories and soon invited him to play a simple ball game with them. Jack agreed, and soon he was running around with the children, laughing and playing. For a moment, he forgot his worries. After a while, Luna thanked the children and took Jack outside. She led him to a quiet park with tall trees and a gentle stream. They sat together on a bench, and Luna told Jack about her dream to visit other worlds. She said that her people were afraid because they had been hurt by strangers long ago. Jack listened and nodded, understanding her fears. Luna grew serious. There are still many who do not trust you. Some of the elders think I am making a mistake by being your friend. Jack felt sad but looked into Luna's eyes. What do you believe? Luna smiled gently. I believe you are good. I believe you came here for a reason. I want to learn from you, and I want my people to learn too. Jack felt hope rising in his heart. Thank you, Luna. I want to help if I can. Later that day, Luna brought Jack to a community feast in the center of the city. Tables were filled with colorful foods, and people danced and sang together. Luna introduced Jack to her friends and family. Some were kind and welcomed Jack warmly. Others stayed back, watching carefully. An old Villari woman approached Luna and Jack during the meal. She looked at Jack with curious eyes and asked him to tell a story from his world. Jack smiled, stood up, and began to tell a simple story about Earth, about hope, friendship, and working together. His words were slow and gentle, and Luna translated for those who could not understand. By the end of the story, many of the Villari listened quietly, and a few even clapped. Jack smiled and sat down, feeling that maybe, just maybe, some of them were starting to trust him. After the feast, Luna and Jack walked back to the palace. The streets were quiet, and the stars began to shine in the violet sky. Luna thanked Jack for his courage and his kindness. You have done more than you know, she said softly. Some hearts are changing. But as they reached the palace gates, they saw a group of elders waiting for them. Their faces were serious, and they called Luna aside. Jack stood quietly as Luna spoke to the elders, her voice calm but firm. He could not hear the words, but he saw the way Luna defended him, standing tall and brave. After a long talk, Luna returned to Jack, her face tired but hopeful. Some elders listened to me, she said. Not all, but a few are willing to see you as a guest, not an enemy. Tomorrow you will meet with them. Jack nodded, feeling both nervous and grateful. I will do my best. That night, Jack sat in his room, thinking about the day. He thought about Luna's courage and the children's laughter. He thought about the old woman who had listened to his story. He knew he still had a long way to go, but he also knew he was not alone. 4. The first time since arriving on this world, Jack felt a small hope that he could truly belong. Jack woke up early the next day in a simple but comfortable room inside the alien palace. He sat up slowly, still surprised that he had slept well in a place so far from home. The bed was soft, and the room was quiet. He could hear faint music from somewhere in the building, a gentle sound that made him feel calm. He stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the city was already awake. Jack saw people moving about, some riding small floating vehicles, others walking along paths lined with blue flowers. The sky was still violet, and birds with bright wings flew high above. Jack thought about Luna, the alien princess who had greeted him so kindly the night before. He wondered if he would see her again. He also worried about the guards and elders who had watched him so closely. He remembered the way some of them looked at him, not with kindness, but with suspicion. Jack knew he was still a stranger here. There was a soft knock on his door. He turned as a young alien boy entered, his skin a lighter shade of blue. The boy bowed politely. Princess Luna is waiting for you in the gardens, he said quietly. Jack thanked him and followed the boy through the winding hallways of the palace. They walked past beautiful rooms filled with strange art and sculptures. Jack saw aliens of different ages talking and laughing, some stopping to stare as he passed. Jack tried to smile at everyone, hoping to look friendly. Finally, they reached a large garden filled with glowing flowers and trees with silver leaves. Luna was there, sitting on a bench beside a small pond. She looked up when she saw Jack and smiled. Good morning, Jack, Luna greeted him warmly. Did you sleep well? Yes, thank you, Jack replied honestly. He sat down on the bench beside her, feeling a bit shy. Luna looked happy to see him. I wanted to show you more of our world today. There is so much to see, and I think you will like it, Jack nodded eagerly. He wanted to learn about this place and understand its people. Luna stood up, and together they walked through the gardens. She pointed out different plants, explaining their uses. Some flowers were used for healing, while others glowed brightly at night. Jack listened carefully, amazed by the strange and wonderful things he saw as they walked. Luna began to ask Jack more questions about Earth. She was curious about everything. What humans ate, how they traveled, what games they played, and what dreams they had. Jack answered as simply as he could, sometimes drawing little pictures in the dirt to help her understand. Luna laughed at some of his stories, especially when he talked about animals like dogs and cats. She had never seen anything like them. Luna also introduced Jack to some young Villari, the name of her people. They were friendly and curious, asking him questions in their soft musical voices. Jack enjoyed their company. The young ones seemed less afraid of him, and some even invited him to join their games. Jack smiled, happy to be treated as a friend instead of a stranger. Later, Luna led Jack into the city itself. The streets were busy, filled with shops and markets. People sold strange foods and colorful clothes. Music played everywhere, and the city felt alive. Jack was amazed by the floating lights and the way buildings glowed softly in the sun. He saw children running, people laughing, and couples walking hand in hand. It was a peaceful and joyful place, but Jack noticed something else too. Not everyone was happy to see him. Some adults stared at him with cold eyes, whispering to each other as he passed. A few elders stopped and watched him carefully. Jack felt uneasy, but Luna stayed close by his side, making him feel safe. At a small market, Luna bought Jack a sweet fruit. He tasted it and smiled at its bright, fresh flavor. Luna laughed and bought him another. They walked and talked for hours, forgetting about time. As the sun began to set, Luna took Jack to a high tower in the center of the city. They climbed many stairs until they reached the top. From there, Jack could see the entire city below, glowing under the violet sky. It was beautiful. Luna stood beside him, her silver hair blowing softly in the breeze. "This is my favorite place," Luna said softly. "When I was young, I used to come here and dream about the future. I wanted to see other worlds, to meet new people." Jack looked at her, seeing the hope in her eyes. "You are brave, Luna. I hope your dreams come true." Luna smiled. "Maybe they already have. You are here, and now I have hope that our worlds can be friends." Jack felt grateful for Luna's kindness. He looked out over the city, feeling a sense of peace, but his happiness did not last long. He heard a noise behind them. Two elders stood at the top of the stairs, their faces serious. "Luna, you must come with us," one of them said sternly. "We must speak about the human." Luna looked at Jack, her eyes worried. She nodded and followed the elders down the stairs, leaving Jack alone at the top of the tower. Jack stood quietly, his heart heavy with concern. He wondered what the elders would say, and if they would let him stay in this wonderful place. After a while, Jack went back down and returned to the palace. He found his room empty and cold. He waited for hours, hoping Luna would return. When she finally did, her face was troubled. "The elders are afraid, Jack," Luna said quietly. "They do not trust humans. They think you might bring danger." Jack felt sad but tried to stay hopeful. "I understand. I will do my best to show them I am a friend." Luna smiled softly, though her eyes were full of worry. "I believe in you, Jack, but things may become difficult. You must be careful." Jack nodded. He promised Luna he would try his best to earn her people's trust. As night fell, Jack sat by his window, looking out at the stars above the alien world. He hoped that tomorrow would bring better days and that he and Luna could find a way to bring their two worlds closer together. Jack stepped cautiously out of his small spaceship, breathing slowly as he looked around. This planet was nothing like Earth. Everything seemed so different. From the pale violet sky to the soft blue grass beneath his boots, the air felt crisp and clean, yet strangely comforting. It was quiet, too quiet, making him nervous. He had traveled alone, seeking new worlds for humanity to explore. Jack had always been brave, but even he felt fear as he wandered into unknown territories. He had heard stories of alien planets, but never imagined himself actually walking on one. Jack walked a few steps forward, his eyes wide as he took in the scenery. Tall trees with silver leaves surrounded him, softly shimmering under the odd-colored sunlight. Small creatures watched him from behind bush, their eyes curious but wary. He smiled softly, trying to appear friendly, but they quickly disappeared, leaving him alone again. Suddenly, Jack heard rustling leaves and swift movements around him. Before he could react, a group of tall figures appeared from behind the trees. They were unlike anything he had ever seen. Their skin was a pale, luminous blue, with eyes that shone bright yellow. They wore armor that glittered, and they held strange-looking spears. Jack raised his hand slowly, showing he was not a threat. "Hello," he said, his voice steady but gentle. "I mean you no harm." The alien warriors exchanged puzzled looks. One stepped forward, slightly larger than the rest. He stared deeply into Jack's eyes, clearly unsure of what to do. Without a word, he gestured to the others. They quickly surrounded Jack, their movements swift and precise, showing their skill and strength. "Please," Jack said again, trying to remain calm. "I'm just an explorer." They didn't reply. Instead, they guided him through the forest, walking quickly. Jack realized he had no choice but to follow. The aliens seemed strong, but not aggressive. Perhaps they were taking him somewhere important. Soon, they reached the edge of a grand city, unlike anything Jack had ever imagined. Tall buildings made from materials that seemed to glow rose gracefully towards the sky. Smooth paths and elegant structures filled the area, all shining gently under the pale violet sky. He marveled silently at the beauty around him. They entered the city, drawing curious stares from other aliens. Many stopped to watch, whispering softly to each other. Jack felt anxious but remained calm, showing no fear. He hoped his bravery would earn their trust. The warriors led Jack toward an enormous building at the city's center. Its walls were carved with intricate designs, telling stories he couldn't understand. Guards stood at attention at the entrance, their faces serious. Jack knew this place was important. He took a deep breath as he stepped inside, hoping for the best. Inside the palace, the walls shone even brighter. The ceiling was high, decorated with beautiful patterns and lights that seemed to dance. Jack was guided down a long hallway toward a large chamber filled with more guards and important-looking aliens. Got at the far end of the room. Sitting gracefully on a throne was an alien girl. She was different, more elegant, with eyes that seemed gentle and understanding. Her long silver hair flowed gracefully around her, and her dress shimmered with colors Jack couldn't describe. As Jack approached, she leaned forward slightly, watching him closely. She smiled warmly, instantly calming his nerves. "Please enter, human," she said softly. Her voice was gentle, filled with genuine curiosity and kindness. Jack stepped forward, bowing his head respectfully. "Thank you," he replied gently, meeting her gaze. "My name is Jack," she nodded gracefully. "I am Luna," she said warmly. "Welcome to our home." Jack felt a sense of relief. Luna seemed genuinely friendly, her curiosity sincere. He could see kindness in her eyes, easing his worries. "We have never met a human before," Luna explained, her voice soft but clear. "Your arrival has surprised us." Jack smiled, relaxing slightly. "I never expected to find anyone here either." "Your world is amazing." Luna smiled gently, seeming pleased. "Thank you. Tell me about your world, Jack." Jack hesitated, unsure of where to start. He began describing Earth, talking about its oceans, mountains, and skies. Luna listened intently, fascinated by every detail. Her genuine interest made Jack feel comfortable, even welcome. "Your home sounds beautiful," Luna said softly. "Perhaps someday our worlds can become friends." Jack smiled warmly, feeling hopeful. "I would like that very much," he said sincerely. As Luna continued to ask questions, Jack felt at ease. Her kindness and openness made him hopeful that he had found not just an alien world, but perhaps true friends as well. But deep inside, he still felt cautious. There was still much he didn't understand about this place and these people. He knew he must be careful, despite how kind Luna seemed. Yet as Jack continued speaking with Luna, he allowed himself a moment of genuine hope. Maybe this encounter was the start of something great, a new beginning for humanity and the aliens of this beautiful world. Outside the grand hall, some elders watched quietly, their expressions guarded and unsure. Jack didn't notice, too focused on his conversation with Luna. He had no idea of the challenges he was about to face or the secrets he was yet to uncover. But for now, Jack enjoyed Luna's kindness, hopeful that he was finally among friends. Jason could feel the tension everywhere on the Odyssey. Some days felt heavy, and every conversation seemed to be about him and Tala. He did his best to act normal, fixing machines, eating meals, but his thoughts always drifted back to Tala. Every time he saw her in the hallway or across a room, his heart felt lighter, even if only for a moment. The Varellan delegation was still holding meetings with the humans, but now there was extra security at every door. Jason knew it was because of the trouble he and Tala had caused, though neither of them had done anything wrong. Tala's family tried to keep her busy, hoping she would forget about Jason, but Tala found ways to leave secret messages or meet him in quiet places. One night, Jason sneaked out of his cabin and found Tala waiting for him in the old storage bay. The lights were dim and nobody else was around. They sat close together, speaking in low voices. "Did your family say anything new?" Jason asked. Tal as shook her head. "They think this is just a feeling that will pass, but they do not understand." Jason nodded. "I wish I could explain it to them. I wish they could feel what I feel when I am with you." Tala smiled, her eyes shining. "Maybe one day they will." Jason felt comforted by her words. He realized that Tala's hope was strong. She was not afraid to face her family or the elders. Jason wanted to be as brave as she was. A few days later, there was a celebration on the Odyssey. Both humans and Varellans were invited to share food, music, and stories. The goal was to remind everyone why peace was important. Jason wondered if it would help, or just remind people of the differences. At the celebration, Jason saw Tala standing alone by a window. She wore a flowing dress that shimmered in the light. Many Varellans watched her from a distance, whispering among themselves. Some humans looked uncomfortable, but a few smiled at her kindly. Jason walked over, feeling nervous. "You look nice," he said softly. Tala smiled. "Thank you. So do you." They stood together, sharing a plate of sweet foods from Tala's home planet. Jason told Tala about parties on Earth, and she shared stories about her first time seeing the stars. They laughed together, forgetting for a while about the trouble around them. Later in the evening, someone asked Jason and Tala to dance. At first, Jason refused. He was shy and did not want to make anyone angry. But Tala took his hand and pulled him onto the dance floor. "Do not be afraid," she whispered. They moved slowly together, everyone watching them. Some people smiled, others frowned. Jason did not care. For the first time, he felt proud to show how much Tala meant to him. After the dance, Tala's father, Joran, approached them. He looked tired, but there was a hint of kindness in his eyes. "Tala," he said, "I see now that your heart is strong. Jason, I see that you care for her. This is not easy for our people, but maybe it is time to listen instead of judge." Jason bowed his head. "Thank you, sir. I promise I will always respect Tala and your family." Joran nodded. "That is all I ask." Tala squeezed Jason's hand, her smile full of hope. "Maybe this is the beginning," she said. The next day, news spread across the station that some Varellans and humans were meeting in small groups to talk about friendship and understanding. People began to ask questions about Tala and Jason, not to judge them, but to understand their story. Some Varellan youths started to join human games, and a few humans tried Varellan foods. Jason saw his friend Matt in the cafeteria. Matt smiled and sat down next to him. I was wrong about you and Tala, Matt admitted. I thought it would end badly, but maybe you two are showing us something new. Jason grinned. Thanks, Matt. That means a lot. Later, Tala found Jason working on an engine. She sat beside him, her face glowing with happiness. Do you see what is happening? People are starting to talk to each other. I think our story is helping. Jason nodded. I hope so. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just wanted to be with you. Tala rested her head on his shoulder. You make me feel safe. That evening, Tala's mother, Myra, invited Jason to a family dinner. He was nervous, but Tala promised she would be by his side. At the dinner, Myra asked Jason questions about Earth, his family, and his dreams. She listened kindly, and by the end of the meal, she smiled at Tala and said, he is welcome here. Jason felt accepted for the first time. He looked at Tala, who smiled with pride. More and more people began to see Jason and Tala not as a problem, but as an example. Some even started calling them brave. There were still those who whispered, but the whispers grew softer. Jason knew there would always be some who disagreed, but he also knew he and Tala had changed something forever. One night, as Jason walked Tala back to her quarters, she stopped him at the door. She looked serious, her eyes full of emotion. Jason, I want you to know, whatever happens, you will always be important to me, no matter what others say. Jason reached out and gently touched her cheek. You will always be important to me, too. Tala hugged him tightly. For a long time, they stood together, just feeling each other's warmth. Jason closed his eyes and wished the moment could last forever. When he finally returned to his cabin, Jason felt calm. He knew there would still be hard days, but now there was hope. Love, he realized, could change more than just two people. It could change a whole world. Here's part 5 of your story in simple and basic English. In third person, without headings, and about 1,200 words. Jason woke up tired. He had not slept well because his mind was full of worry. He remembered the promise he made with Tala, said they would stand together, no matter what happened. But now everything felt harder. It seemed like the whole station was watching them. Every look, every word seemed heavy. Jason wished life could go back to being simple, but deep inside, he knew he did not want to lose Tala for anything. Jason walked into the engineering bay and started working on a power relay. He tried to focus on his job, but he could hear people talking in the background. He knew the other crew members were still gossiping about him and Tala. He ignored them and finished his repairs. After a while, he checked his tablet and saw a message from Tala. She wanted to meet him in the observation deck after her meeting with the Varellan Council. Jason hurried through the hallways. He felt both nervous and happy. He wanted to see Tala's face, to talk with her, and to make sure she was all right. When he arrived, Tala was already waiting for him by the wide window that looked out into space. Her eyes glowed softly as she smiled at him. I'm glad you came, Jason, she said gently. My family has been asking me many questions. Some of the elders want me to go back home with them. Jason's heart sank. Do you want to leave? He asked quietly. Tala shook her head. No, I do not want to leave. I want to stay here. I want to stay with you, but it is not easy. My family says they are worried about my future. They think I am too young to decide such things for myself. Jason sighed. I wish I could help. I do not want you to get in trouble because of me. Tala reached out and touched Jason's hand. Her fingers were cool and gentle. You help me every day just by being here. You make me feel brave. I do not want to hide. I do not want to be afraid. Jason looked into her bright eyes. He wanted to say more, but he heard footsteps coming from the hallway. The station's human ambassador, Ms. Carter, entered the observation deck. She looked at Jason and Tala, her face serious but not angry. I need to speak with both of you, Miss Carter said. There is a lot of pressure from both sides. Some Varellans are saying Tala should be sent home. Some humans think you, Jason, are risking our peace with the Varellans. But others believe what you two have is special. You need to understand that every choice you make now will matter. Tala nodded. We understand. We will be careful, but we do not want to lie about our feelings. Ms. Carter studied them for a moment, then smiled a little. Love is not a crime. Sometimes it's what brings people together. Just remember you are both part of something. Bigger now, the whole galaxy is watching. After Miss Carter left, Jason and Tala stood together in silence, thinking about what she said. Jason squeezed Tala's hand. I am not sorry for caring about you. Tala smiled, her eyes shining. Me neither. I am proud of us. That evening, Jason went back to his small room and tried to call his mother on Earth. The signal was weak, but he managed to send her a short message. He told her about Tala and how she made him happy, even if things were hard. His mother sent a message back, saying she loved him and trusted him to do the right thing. Days passed, and the pressure did not go away. More security officers patrolled the hallways. Tala was watched more closely by her family. Sometimes they could only see each other for a few minutes, but even that was enough to give them hope. They talked about their dreams for the future. Jason wanted to visit Tala's home planet. Tala wanted to learn how to fix things like Jason. One day, Tala brought Jason to the Varellan Gardens, a special place full of glowing plants and warm air. She showed him a small blue flower. On my world, we give these flowers to people we care about, she said, handing it to him. It means you are important to me. Jason felt touched. He carefully placed the flower in his pocket. You are important to me too, Tala. I never thought I would feel like this about anyone. Much less someone from another world. Tala laughed softly. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes the heart chooses before the mind is ready. As they sat together, Tala spoke about her worries. Some people say I am selfish for choosing you. They say I am not thinking of my family or my people. But I believe love is not selfish. Love is about sharing, about understanding each other. Jason nodded. I believe that too. I do not care what others say. I am not afraid to stand with you. Their secret meetings became less secret as more people found out. Some humans smiled at Jason in support. A few even told him they admired his courage. Others still disapproved. One night, Jason found a note outside his door. It said, humans should stay with humans. Aliens should stay with their own. Jason threw the note away and did not tell Tala, but it made him sad. Tala faced her own struggles. Her brother, Leo, tried to protect her. Tala, you must be careful, Leo warned. Not everyone will accept your choice. I am your brother, and I love you, but you are making things hard for our family. Tala hugged her brother. I know, but I cannot change my heart. Leo sighed. I will always be here for you. Just promise me you will be safe. Tala promised, but she knew safety was not something she could always control. One day, a big meeting was called on the station. Both humans and Varellans gathered in the council hall. Jason and Tala were asked to speak again. This time, they stood side by side, holding hands for everyone to see. Jason spoke first. I know many of you do not understand, but Tala and I are not trying to hurt anyone. We just want to be together. We want to show that friendship and love can bring our people closer. Tala spoke next. I love my family and my people, but I also care deeply for Jason. I am not ashamed. I ask you to see us as we are, not as a problem to solve. The room was silent for a long time. Then a young human woman stood up and said, They are brave. They are showing us a new way. A Varellan elder nodded and said, Perhaps it is time we open our hearts. After the meeting, things did not change overnight, but a small hope grew in everyone's hearts. Jason and Tala knew they still faced many challenges, but they also knew they had started something important. They were not alone anymore. Some people would always be afraid, but others were ready to listen. That night, Tala met Jason in the observation deck again. They watched the stars together, feeling hope and love. "No matter what happens," Jason said softly, "I will always be with you." Tala leaned close and whispered, "You are mine, Jason, and I am yours." They held each other, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring.